Welcome to the COMC High School Football Coaches Show, of course, presented by the great folks at Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission. Also brought to you by MoDOT, Save Mo Lives. Slumberland Furniture, Slumberland at the Lake, Price and Randall, Injury Attorneys, and Lake Expo Real Estate, lakeexpo.com. We're here at Osage, home of the Indians. Head coach Shannon Jolley with us. Life is good right now, 5-1, another big win. You guys are rolling along. You beat Hallsville Friday night, your homecoming win. Homecoming wins are always special, right?
Homecoming win for me was my freshman daughter had her first date and homecoming dance.
Wow.
So that's the big homecoming win, is that went smooth and we got everything taken care of. And
did you bring the shotgun out of the closet or what?
Ironically enough, if you really want the truth, I did happen to walk through the front room with a rifle when there was 25 people in our house getting ready. So you can ask my wife about that. But yeah, we're doing good.
That's hilarious. Okay, so you do beat Hallsville. It looked huge. You know, after the game, final score was 46-15. You only led by 3 at halftime, though. So you put together a powerful second half and just kind of rolled in the second.
Well, I think if you watched the game, it was kind of unpredictable. I mean, the turn of events where they said 4 scores in 5 minutes and 40 seconds or something like that. That's not normal. A couple things, the timing, and some things worked out in our way. But we always tell kids those opportunities where the ball bounces your way, literally you create those during the week. Those aren't just by accident. You're in the right spot. So, no, I was proud of our kids. We felt, I don't want to say comfortable at halftime, but we felt like we were on the brink of kind of, coming out of our shell a little bit. But they did a really good job in the first half of keeping the ball away from us.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it something you say, I mean, the coaches always get the credit of, the halftime speech or something like that. Is that what motivates the team to come out like that?
I've been asked that the last few weeks more than I ever have in my career. And really, it would be kind of cool to get an inside look, but we're looking at film during halftime and checking it out, and fundamentally we had a lot of breakdowns, and that's what really frustrated me. But there was no motivational speech. It was more of a little bit of a butt chewing about, hey, we're in week 6 and we're doing this, and this wrong. We better get this figured out. And really that wasn't even the contribution to the win. There was some timing involved in some events that Hallsville put themselves in, and a combination of us taking advantage of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Teams fall into, for some reason, maybe personality or whatever, fall into certain habits. And this is like the second time this year your team has been flat in the first half and then just kicked butt in the second half. Is there some personality to a team like that, or
I sure hope not?
Work? Yeah.
Because when you play really good teams, you'll be beat so bad in the first half that you won't be able to come back. And that's the thing. We're getting into the end of the season. So if you wait to find that out at the end of the season that you can't, play average ball in the first half and then try to come out and that's our personality.
Yeah.
Well, that's not really going to work out very well. But no, we talk about it all the time. We have not really come out and lit it on fire early. And I think that's it is a personality trait of our kids to kind of figure it out. Mm-hmm. And what happens to teams that figure it out is they lose when teams get better.
It's actually kind of common, though. I mean, you see this in the Kansas City Chiefs a lot, where they'll go out, they'll look kind of iffy the first few minutes, and then they'll figure it out and they'll play lights out, or at least in the last few years. Hopefully that'll be the case, but you do see that in teams.
Yeah, I think it's just a combination of so many things, and I think the people that think they understand it don't.
Yeah.
And so we don't put a lot of thought into it other than we're just trying to get a win and whatever we need to do. And we were proud of our kids the way that they came out, but again, in the second half. But and credit to Hallsville. Hallsville had a nice methodical drive that kept the ball, almost the entire first quarter. So hats off to their coaches.
Yeah. Big game this Friday night right here on Lake TV at Boonville. Osage and Boonville, 2 top 10 teams. And we'll talk about that matchup and the second head-to-head top 10 matchup for Osage this year when we come back on the COMC High School Football Coaches Show.
What's like and follow?
Phones are very distracting. Which is why Missouri now has a law against holding a phone while driving.
Dude, what are you doing? You can't hold your phone while driving.
Yeah, It's illegal.
Buckle up.
At COMC, your health is our mission. Central Ozarks Medical Center offers pediatrics at 2 lake locations and 3 OBGYNs at the Osage Beach Clinic, offering same-day appointments. At COMC, our doors are open to everyone, whether you live at the lake or just here visiting. COMC for the best medical, dental, and behavioral health care. Get more info on how COMC can help you at centralozarks.org. COMC, where your health is our mission. Welcome back to the COMC High School Football Coaches Show, our big game Friday night here on Lake TV, on the road at Boonville. We don't do this a whole lot at Lake TV, hit the road, but this is such a good big matchup. Your team ranked in the top 10 in the state, Boonville ranked in the top 10 in the state, so this ought to be a pretty fun matchup. Year after year, Boonville has a pretty good program. Yeah,
they're super talented. I mean, I think they have I know the Ellison kid, I think, is a Division I recruit or commit to Missouri. They're always, very talented and have a good group. Boonville's always got great athletes, and Greg does a really good job at Boonville. They're well coached, and we've played well against Boonville in the past, but they seem like they draw a little bit of our better play out just because what they present. So we're excited about it. It's a fun place to play.
Yeah. What do they generally like to do on offense that your defense is going to need to be ready for?
Well, I just think that they do a good job each year of emphasizing what that group does, and they can transition a little bit from one year to more of a throwing team to a running team. So I think they're just aware of their talent level and where to put them, and they do a good job of putting their kids in good situations.
And we've talked about it in the past. There are certain schools that you just know you're going to go in there and they're going to hit you in the mouth. They like to play hard-nosed football. Boonville's one of those teams.
Yeah, no, like I said, if you look at them on film, they look like a Class 5 team. I mean, they've got super, big kids, athletic kids, and so it's going to be a good challenge for us. I mean, we've got our hands full.
Yeah. Again, top 10 against top 10, both Osage and Boonville ranked in the top 10. When you're ranked like that, and you've been ranked in the top 10 all year, does it mean anything to you? Do you like that? Do you dislike that?
The only thing that I can say that we've embraced it a little bit more. Before in the past, I might not have even mentioned it, but we talk about it kind of hit a nerve with our kids. I tell them, I said, with respect comes responsibility. So if people respect you enough to vote for you and put you on a platform, then you have a responsibility of living up to that. And so we've used that a little bit this year as far as if you want to stay there, it's nice to have buzz around your program and have positive things said about you. But with that, if you want to stay there, there's a responsibility to uphold that. And that's how we've used it a little bit this year. But normally I don't really speak about it at all. But it's a privilege to have people recognize you. And we just need to understand the responsibility that comes with it.
Yeah, it's also a kudos to your coaching. You've been here 5 years. When you got here, you kind of needed to rebuild and turn things around. And here you are 5 years later. Well, and you were ranked in the top 10 last year too. How about for the kids? Do they take a lot of pride in that? Do they look at the rankings and know where they are?
I don't know. I'm not the guy to add you. I mean, I haven't talked to them about it. I'm sure maybe on their phones they're, putting some stuff out there, but I just don't participate in that. I'm just excited for them, and I'm excited for our talent level. We're healthy. It's just now, of kind of trimming back the vines and making sure that we're getting better.
Yep. Okay. So Friday night, be sure to join us here on Lake TV. Pregame at 6:30, kickoff at 7. Osage at Boonville, 2 top 10 teams. That ought to be a lot of fun. Coming up next here on the COMC High School Football Coaches Show, we head over to Camdenton, talk with head coach P.A about their big game Friday night.
Lake life starts here. At Lake Expo Real Estate, we know that buying or selling a lakefront property is more than just a transaction. It's the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter that we strive to make easy, from listing to closing. In a competitive market, we showcase your property to the masses online with lakeexpo.com, returning unmatched visibility. And if you're ready to buy that lake house, our team lives and breathes the lake lifestyle, so we know what this chapter is all about. At Lake Expo Real Estate, we believe in community, cherishing those lasting memories, and helping make your lake dream a reality. Check us out online to find lake properties. No logins, no distractions, just pure, unfiltered lake views and options. Lake Expo Real Estate, where we are ready to be a part of your next chapter.
Welcome back to the COMC High School Football Coaches Show. We've made our way over here to Camdenton, home of the Lakers. Coach Pitt's with us here. And Coach, weather's supposed to cool down a little bit this week, hopefully. Still summer weather out here.
Yeah, it feels like when we started in August.
Yeah, no kidding. Does that make practices better or harder when it's nice and warm like this?
Well, it keeps you used to, you're acclimatized to what the heat is if you get that hot game. So that helps. It doesn't really help with your enthusiasm sometimes because you know how it goes when you get tired of just being out in the heat the whole time. So we're encouraged about this cool front coming through.
Yeah, indeed. Times have changed too. I mean, I remember when I was playing, back with the dinosaurs, water wasn't a big thing. It was like you go out and practice and work and you'll get water as a treat when you do it right. Now you got to keep kids hydrated and everything because people have found out that's kind of dangerous.
Yeah, we're much more educated now, and water doesn't necessarily do anything but help you.
Yeah.
That's the best part about it. So we have plenty of water for everybody at about any time.
Yeah, that's good when it's hot, especially in the summer. So you ran into a really good Rockbridge team last week. That's one thing about the new conference is you're kind of the small school in this conference. You got a lot of Class 6 teams in there. Every week you're running up against somebody pretty darn good, and Rockbridge was pretty darn good.
Yeah, they were. They're one of the biggest teams we've faced really in a long time. It must have everybody in their school that's over 6 feet tall plays football. But they're a good team. They played very well against us, coming off a loss from Hawaii the week before. But they're a tough team. Our conference is really tough, top to bottom.
Yeah, it really is. So you made this switch to the new conference 2 years ago. The old conference kind of disintegrated, so you didn't really have much of a choice. But I'm telling you what, week after week, it's a bigger school for the most part because you got so many Class 6 schools in there. There is no off week in this conference.
No, there's not. There's 3 Class 6 teams in the conference, and then every other team is a Class 5. And really a good football team. So every week you've got to be prepared and you've got to go out there and play your best.
Yeah, coaches, and we've kind of talked about it in the past. Being the head coach, you oversee everything. Do you kind of look at your role as like a CEO thing and you distribute things to the other coaches? How does that work?
Yeah, I do assign a lot of responsibility to our assistant coaches. We've got amazing assistant coaches. We got an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and then we have all the position coaches within our staff. And then also some of those guys end up coaching the junior varsity on Mondays. We have a great freshman staff, and they're solid on coaching our freshmen. And both those teams are off to a great start. The JV's undefeated, and our freshmen have only lost one. So.
Wow. Well, that bodes well for the future, right?
Yeah, we're excited about the way they're going out and competing each week and getting a lot of experience and ready to play on Fridays as the season goes on and into next year.
Well, and not just them having success, but this year's team, there's so few seniors. I think you told me 10 seniors on the roster. That means you got to populate the roster with a lot of other younger kids that are getting this varsity time, right?
Yeah, when you have a smaller senior class and then they've sustained some injuries and some different things, everybody's getting to move up a little bit quicker than normal and get some experience.
Yeah. Okay. So with the coaches, are they mostly former Lakers? Or I guess they'd still be Lakers like yourself, but that's one thing about Camdenton is it seems like everybody loves Lakerland so much they come back.
Yeah, our staff is primarily made up of guys that played here and wanted to come back and be a part of the program and continue making a difference in kids' lives and coaching football and teaching here.
Kind of like you. You had other choices, very successful head coach elsewhere, and you came back to be back with the Lakers. Okay, so this week's game, Friday night, another very tough matchup against a Class 6 team in Hickman, so we'll talk more about that when we come back on the COMC High School Football Coaches Show.
Hey everybody, it's Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. We're in the middle of a fall home sale, so that means great deals for every room of the house. Not only do you get great deals, but we're also offering 36 months interest-free financing on everything. Don't forget, we deliver the entire lake area. So come check us out, Slumberland Furniture, where we're bringing happy home.
Competing on the field requires hard work.
It also requires effort and making good choices, which carries over off the field.
Like good choices behind the wheel of your car. Did you know that a driver is 20 times more likely to be in a serious accident if texting and driving?
Last year alone, 104 people were killed in Missouri from distracted driving.
So keep leading the statistics. Don't become one.
Buckle up, phones down. This Drive Safe, Boat Safe reminder brought to you by Price & Randall Injury Attorneys.
Welcome back to the COMC High School Football Coaches Show here at Camdenton on the Lakers practice field. Coach Parr Pitts. Okay, so you go from, what's the saying, jump from the frying pan into the fire, right? Last week you had a really good Rockbridge team. This week you've got a really good Hickman team, 5-1. And I mean, they've beaten some really good teams already. This is another really, really good team.
Yeah, they are. They're a good team, another Class 6 program. We get to go on the road. We haven't played at their stadium. I don't think we've played a regular season game at the varsity level at Hickman, so it'll be our first time there. They're very balanced. They can run the football. They got a good running game. Their offensive line is probably one of the most improved from last year to this year that we've seen all season. And so, then defensively, they're very athletic. They can play man against you, and they bring a lot of pressure.
Yeah. So, and you mentioned road game. I think the last 3 games of the regular season on the road.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to figure the road out here these next few weeks probably. When you play Columbia teams, Columbia is not necessarily a huge city, but they are a university city. Does that give them an edge somehow, being in a university town?
Well, I think that always, you have a university or college in your town, it definitely adds a lot of elements. I don't know if it necessarily makes you a better football program, but there's lots of opportunities and lots of different people that come in when a university's in a community, so it's definitely got to be an advantage to all the kids.
No doubt. And we mentioned that you've played your last home game of the regular season. You did that last week. You played here at Camdenton, Bob Shore Stadium. Was it even named Bob Shore Stadium when you played there?
No, it wasn't. It was just the Laker football stadium, and nicknamed Jaws of Death at that time still, but yeah, it wasn't until much later that it was named Bob Shore Stadium.
Yeah, a guy that you played for, right? Bob Shore.
Yeah, I actually came back and talked to the board when they were contemplating naming it, and so wanted to advocate for that because it's definitely well earned by him.
Some special memories on that field, in that locker room. As a player, what jumps back to mind as a special memory at that stadium?
Well, I really love just being able to go out for the first time, being a varsity player and getting to play. One specific game, we played Chillicothe in the semifinals my senior year, and we won to get to the state championship game, and we scored on the first 2 offensive plays that we ran.
Wow.
To go up 14-0 against the defending state champion in Chillicothe. Yeah,
how about as a coach, head coach? And you've been an assistant here for a long time too, before becoming head coach. How about that memory?
I think my first year when we beat West Plains 45-0 at our place, it was a pretty good night for us. We got a shutout, had a great offensive night, and that was exciting.
Yeah, and West Plains, a good program there. Thank you, sir. Good luck on Friday night. Appreciate it. Thank you for joining us for the COMC High School Football Coaches Show, presented, of course, by the great folks at COMC, Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission. Also brought to you by MoDOT, Save Mo Lives, Slumberland Furniture, Slumberland at the Lake, Price & Randall Injury Attorneys, and Lake Expo Real Estate, lakeexpo.com.
Take Lake TV with you wherever you go. Watch Lake TV on demand on YouTube, Roku, and Fire TV.